So, all right. So plan for this session is I'd like to get through 3 more parts, and we're actually going to do in order to get through 3, we're going to do the 3 remaining easiest or least complex. The easiest one is hitch magnet. It takes about 5 seconds. Then we're going to do linkage arm, which is more like 30 seconds. And then we're going to do smokestack, which is back to medium difficulty. Requires some sort of details. Either way, let's get back to the document that everything is going to be in. At this point, you should have 3 separate files or tabs, I guess. Let's make a new one, create part studio. And let's rename it. This one is going to be Hitch magnet. And let's go full screen-ish. And let's put this down there. And okay. So hitch magnet, like 2 dimensions. You can either do it in one move where you make a circle that's 0.45 diameter, and then another circle that's 0.25 diameter and extrude at 0.25, or extrude a full cylinder and then cut out the middle, which is what I'm going to do. That's the way I think of things. Okay. So first step, and for this one, it doesn't really matter which plane. Well, technically none of them really matter which plane you start on, but we'll go ahead and sketch on the front, even though this is sort of flat. Like I said, it doesn't matter. We're going to make a circle that is 0.45 in diameter. So first click, go out, dimension 0.45. And let's finish the sketch. Extrude, look at it from a corner, choose our only sketch and extrude it the depth, which is 0.25. 0.25. Okay, and now we have a cylinder. Let's put a sketch on the top. And we're sketching on the top. We need a circle, but there's nothing to click onto. I mean, technically we could click onto the origin point, but I'm going to project some geometry with the use tool. And now I can put a circle on top there. And let's go ahead and dimension that circle 0.25. Finish sketch, extrude, choose our only circle, switch to remove, and let's just go through all. Haven't done that in a while. And there you go. We don't need the visibility of these things on. Front, top, right, origin. And there you go, hitch magnet. Super, super easy. All right, so next one is linkage arm, which will end up connecting the wheels so that they spin when we do some animation. And we've seen TYP before, I think. Typical, meaning it's the same anywhere that looks like it. And you'll see that there's like holes in the middle here that are 0.128 cut all the way through, but that's the diameter. Let me get out some actual drawing. So the diameter of these holes are 0.128, but the outside edge of the shape rounded part is radius 0.1875. When we make this, we're going to make it with the circle tool so that it remains centered where we want it. But circle tool is dimension by diameter, so we will have to double this. We're going to start with a rectangle that is 3.5 long, and that eventually will be the center, or where we center both of those circles. So it's going to be a rectangle 3.5 long, 0.25 tall, and 0.125 thick. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, obviously we need a new part studio. Rename linkage arm. And let's do a sketch. Why not sketch on the front? Look at it straight on. Make a rectangle from the origin, just so it snaps to something. And we want it 3.5 this way. 0.25 tall. Finish the sketch. We can turn off all of our origin planes and points. Let's extrude this. 0.125. Hit OK. All right. So we're going to do this in 2 more steps. We're going to let's put it the way that it sort of looks. We're going to do first step, an outer circle, where the center of it is actually on our rectangle. So we're going to use this as the center point and do a circle that is diameter 0.1875 times 2. And we do it on both sides and extrude it the thickness of everything. And then in the next part feature, we'll make the circles on the same center mark, this size, and cut all the way through. Okay, so we can put a sketch, and we'll sketch on this large face, the major face of the part. And let's get a circle. Are we going to get a center mark? Yeah, we do get a soft snap. Let's see what happens if we switch on use. And it doesn't really change anything. Either way, we'll go with the circle. And you can see if you get it close, you get this little box. We want that. Okay, first click is there. Second click is somewhere, like however big, just don't snap it to the corner there. And we want this to be 0.1875 star 2 times 2. There you go. And let's do the same thing on the other side. There's no reason to do it in multiple features since these are the same. We could have done some sort of mirroring thing, but at this point, for one feature, it's not that much better. And we can go ahead and do 0.375 since we know that's the same. Let's finish the sketch. Look at it from a corner, extrude, choose. Hit something. Choose our shape. You can choose this inside. It doesn't really matter. And we'll do the same thing over here. We need to switch directions. We need it to be add. And the distance, well, we can't just do up to next. Nope, up to, well, we can just type in the distance, which is 0.125. Nope. Blind 0.125. That looks right. Okay. And let's do another sketch for the 2 holes. We are going to need something to snap onto. Well, you do get a snap there, which I think is the remnant of our first rectangle. But let's go ahead and use. the use tool and just click somewhere on the face, and you'll get a hard snap to the center there. And we need a circle here and a circle here. And they are both diameter 0.128. 0.128. And same thing, 0.128. Go. Finish sketch. Extrude. Choose this one and this one. Switch it to remove and through all just because. Hit OK. There you go. Linkage arm. Okay. And the next we're going to do, which will be the last one for this session, so that we have a chance to process it, is this is the smokestack. And let's go ahead and make a new part studio and rename smoke stack. Used to be called smokestack, and I don't know why. Maybe smoke is a bad word, but they switched it to stack. Okay, so what we have here, and you can see that it has this section view, this cross section. It's giving us a hint that the best move is make this sketch and then revolve it around the center axis. And that's what we're going to do. The thing is that these edges in here are actually these two holes. One is 0.875 diameter and 0.375 deep. The other one is 0.375 diameter from the top and extruded through, which we can sort of parse that and try to figure out what these dimensions are versus this dimension. But what we're actually going to do is make it solid all the way through. We're going to make as if it didn't have those cut extrusions. Make it, wow, it's sloppy. Like this, do our revolve all the way around. And once we have a solid piece, we'll make the holes from the top. So we're just going to, for now, ignore all the cutouts in the middle. We just need to figure out the rest. Okay, so there are some tricky things here. Obviously, anything that's a horizontal distance is going to be cut in half because it gets doubled back when we do the revolve. Anything that's a vertical distance stays the same. So let's just work through this. We're always going to start with our center axis of the total height, which is 1.75. Let's go ahead and sketch. And I do think front is probably the better plane for this. And we'll look at it straight on. And did I click on it? No, there we go. And let's get a line tool from the center straight up and dimension that to 1.75. All right. So that's our first line. Then that's everything here. Then we need to work our way around this edge right, or this bottom edge. Well, the whole thing we want to be 0.5. So that means this edge right here needs to be half that. So we need a line that is 0.25 from the bottom coming out. And it might look too small to begin with. Turn off that, and let's move this out of the way. And there we go. That's a little better scale. Next line is this vertical line here, which is 0.25. which is vertical, so it doesn't change. We'll get a line from here and go straight up and dimension that to 0.25. And we'll go like this, turn it off. And we'll make this just look a little prettier. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and working our way around, our next line is going to be this one. The thing is, we don't know how long this line is. What we do know is where the line starts, which is where we finished here, and where the line finishes, or we're going to infer, parse, or figure it out, where it finishes. And if you know where a line starts and finishes, you can just connect it. You don't have to know its length. It doesn't matter. In fact, I bet if we dimension it, it's a weird decimal length. So we just need to find this point out here. And so we're going to use a working point. Is that what they call it here? Or point. And we're going to put it sort of roughly out in space. And what is the location? Well, it's 1.5 off of our baseline vertically. So let's go ahead and dimension that. Dimension, so the point tool. Dimension our new point to our bottom edge or origin. But when you click on origin, just make sure you go far enough out that it is a true vertical dimension. I'm going to do it from here to this corner, just so that it, I still have this gap there. But again, this is not dimensioning for the sake of a drawing. This is just sketching. But either way, 1.5 tall. And you know it's not fully dimensioned because it's still blue. The dimension we need now is its distance from the center, which its distance from our center axis is going to be half of what we want it to be when it's finished. So it's going to be 1.25 divided by 2 is its horizontal distance from the center axis. So first click there, second click there, and I'm going to put it down here just because there's more stuff that's going to happen up here. So we just need to be 1.25/2. And now it's fully dimensioned. We can now connect it. Did I really miss it? Line tool, connect. Okay, fully dimensioned, no blue lines, we're good to go. And so what else do we need? Well, we need to know, we've got it all the way around. We only need this line and the top line remaining. We don't know, we have no dimension for the outer edge of the top. This dimension right here, or both these dimensions, are pointing towards the inside. So our normal way would be to draw this line and then dimension it to know how long it is, but we don't know that. The only other dimension we know is that this edge right here comes in 15 degrees off of vertical. And we're going to make this line 15 degrees off of vertical. We're going to dimension it and have it stop at the highest point. That's all we know. And that's going to be enough. So let's go ahead and draw a line that looks roughly correct. And I think if you mouse over this point, which is not what we want to connect, you get a the marching ants. So we'll go ahead and set that. And actually we can go forward and connect that. That'll be good. And we'll turn off the line tool. We still need to dimension the angle from vertical. And the way I'm going to do that is just make a vertical line from here that it doesn't matter how far, as long as it's long enough to work with. make sure it snaps to vertical, but you can see that short vertical line. It'll, it clicks, snaps. And once you have that, we can dimension the angle, which is just dimension tool, first click, second click, and just somewhere out of the way. And that's supposed to be 15 degrees. And there we go. Finish the sketch. And revolve. Choose our loop, our sketch. Click on revolve axis. And we want to spin it around that. Okay, almost done. Let's turn off all these unnecessary planes. All right, so the only two other part features are the holes for the cut extrusions. One of them is 0.375 in diameter and 1.5 inches deep. And the other is 0.875 diameter and 0.375 deep. So this one, if it's 0.375 deep, that's the shorter one. And the other one is 1.5 deep. But this 1.5 deep is measuring from the top. It's not the length of this edge. It's the cut all the way down from the top. So if we did this 0.875 one first, we wouldn't have anything to click on to make the narrower, deeper one. So we're going to do the narrow, deep one first, because it's measuring from the top through. And then we'll do the wider, shallower one as a second move, second feature. Okay, so we are right now interested in 0.375 diameter and 1.5 deep. So we'll put a sketch on the top. Let's get the use tool to project a dot there. Let's do a circle that does about that big. Let's dimension it to what we want, which is 0.375 diameter. Finish sketch, extrude, choose the inside, switch it to remove, and the depth of remove is 1.5. Hit OK. Okay, that's the first one. The other wider, shallower one, which I don't even need the pen for, is 0.875 diameter and 0.375 deep, also measuring from the top. So we need a new sketch somewhere on the top surface, so we have something to snap to, or so that it's measuring from the right place. My guess is we'll get a soft snap. Yeah, we get a soft snap from the circle, but I'd rather have a proper one. So we can click on the use tool and somewhere on this face, somewhere where that little dot pops up. Okay, and we need a circle that snaps to that. Let's look at it straight on. Circle snaps to it, and it's roughly that big. And its actual size is 0.875. Finish the sketch, extrude, choose just our inner circle, although it wouldn't really matter if you chose that other part also. And we don't want to add material, we want to remove material, and we don't want to move that far, just 0.375 in depth. Hit OK, and there you go. That is smokestack completed. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. The recording will be up shortly.